Today, we will be assembling this open frame case for this Asus Z790 ITX motherboard with a water-cooled Intel i9-14900 CPU. As seen, we have already changed out the original CPU mounting bracket for this contact frame. The reason being is that I did not feel comfortable with the pressures exerted on the CPU with the original mounting bracket. So with that, we will go ahead and push this stuff aside and take a look at what's inside our frame box. Okay, everything is nicely packaged. Got some instructions, so let's go ahead and separate things. Power switch, screws, save that for later. Okay, according to the box, aiming for probably a setup similar to this. So it looks like I need one of these bottom frame pieces. Looks like this will be the bottom. And we have one more identical piece. I think that will go on the top. Then looking again at the diagram, it looks like we should have two braces to go up the side, which I believe are these. Like, how would these go? You screw from the inside or the outside. Looks like we'll need our screws. Go ahead and open this guy up. I'll grab a pair of scissors. Like probably the larger size screws. Which seem to fit. Let's go ahead and install these brackets. too tight, so that we can adjust for this later. And looking at the diagram on the box, looks like the panel that supports the motherboard should be next. Should be this guy here. That slides in there nicely. Looks like we get to choose the height. I guess for now, choose a somewhat comfortable height, just to get it off the lowest most point. We'll secure that. One thing that's nice about this case is with all these parts, you can assemble this in quite a few different configurations to match exactly what you want to do. Looks like I assembled it wrong. So this needs to be rotated. Looks like I need to rotate this 90 degrees. So take this off and turn it. According to the diagram on the box, looks like we're aiming for this kind of a configuration. So that large hole should be up there. So we will go ahead and assemble that and see how that works out. Put one screw in on each side just to get everything set and lined up. And we'll add in a couple more screws. Now everything is still rather loose, so we'll tighten everything out once we get everything set up the way we like. Okay, looks like about time to put the top on. So we'll set up these brackets the same way for the top. So we've got down here. Go ahead and put those on the lowest setting. One more on the other side. the other couple screws in for a little more stability. Okay. Looks not too bad. Okay, let's put the top on. Looks like the top looks identical to the bottom. Get a couple screws ready. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. We'll be able to put, looks like the water cooling radiator on the top. The motherboard will sit here. And got a couple more brackets probably for, it looks like for power supply, so that we can place the power supply at a convenient place. We have a bracket for the expansion cards. I'll go on the side here if we have any expansion cards. So I think this looks good, so we'll go ahead and tighten everything up. Okay. All right. So that completes the initial assembly of the initial frame. Okay, I've adjusted things for a little bit of a better view. So this is where we've got assembled so far. And it looks like, let's go ahead and put the feet on here. There's some rubber feet that came with this. Looks like this bag. And turn this guy over and get the other side. All right, have those snugged down. Not sure what this is for. Put that back for now. And put these other screws away for now. Back in the bag that they came in. And we will get the motherboard mount set up. So for the ITX, looks like it will mount these 4 holes here. So we will go ahead and get those standoffs ready, which look like in this bag. Now what's nice about this frame is the threads, you've actually got nuts that go on the other side so that you don't have to worry about stripping out the threads on this plate. So we'll go ahead and get these standoffs in place. And I have not really tightened everything down really tight yet. I don't think. I think we'll leave that till last, once everything is set up, and so we don't put tension on anything. Okay, that looks fairly good. Looks like the next step is, looks like we will go ahead and get the motherboard mounted. So looks like we'll need 4 screws for that. Okay, I think we will go ahead and tighten these motherboard standoffs down a little bit. So I have a socket driver, and we will snug these down just a little bit more. And we'll check to see how our motherboard fits. And it looks like the standoffs will line up. So I'm going to go ahead and throw some glass washers. I prefer to put these washers between the metal on these stands and the motherboard, just so we don't damage the PC board. So we'll place one on each standoff. And we'll put the motherboard on top of these. And we will also put a washer between the screw and the motherboard as well. So very carefully set this on, not to disturb the washers. Fairly close. Looks like we're close enough. Have things lined up enough. So we will put that additional washer on and thread these in. Okay, 2 down, 2 to go. Looks like I will grab a small screwdriver so I can line up these last 2 washers a little better. Okay, I've got a small screwdriver to line this up a little bit better. And we'll go ahead and get this last 2 screws installed. Okay, snug these down a little bit, not too tight. Okay, looks like we've got our motherboard installed. Okay, we have one more detail on this case. We got a power button that came in this package, and as this case is rather customizable, there are multiple locations where this power button could be installed. So we'll go ahead and use this pull down here. Okay, we'll tighten that thing up a little bit better later. As for the connections, go reference another case that I have that has the same coloring. Looks like the power LED is red and black. So we will go ahead and swap this guy out. And that would make the power button the 2 remaining leads. Yeah, we will tidy up these wires a little bit later. Okay. Okay, we'll go ahead and set this down on the side and take a look what we have so far. Okay, the next thing is like to mount a power supply. Not sure quite where to put the power supply. If we should put it on the bottom here, We should put it on the back. So let me go fetch a power supply and we'll see where we can mount it. Okay, this is a 750 watt power supply that I picked up for testing purposes. So it looks like we could temporarily use this to power this board up and to test things out. So first thing, let's see how this is going to work. So we've got a bracket here. So either go this way looks like we can only go only one way to get all the holes to line up. This looks like it's going to go this way. So let's see, what bag should we use? Looks like this bag contains the screws for the power supply. Looks like we will go ahead and thread in these screws. Just a couple for now, just to get the thing aligned. And we'll see if we can find a good mounting place for this. Looking at the box, it has the example on it. Looks like we can mount it on the bottom. Looks like we can get some holes to line up for a mounting bracket. Looks like we can mount this on the bottom. Looks like these holes do not quite line up. Let's see what happens if we rotate this. So we can get some holes to line up if we rotate. We'll sort this out later. We'll just get something to line up here. Throw a screw in it for now. Okay. I think I have an idea. We can mount this. We could actually tack this onto the side. It doesn't look like it's the best solution, but looks like it will work out for now. So we'll only get one screw in it. Looks like that's a temporary solution for now. Let's use the smaller threaded screws, it looks like. Screwdriver on this. Let's thread it in, at least temporarily. I don't like having this single screw in here like this, but we will figure out how to get this a little more stable in a little bit. Anyway, looks like our power cables will reach. Let's go ahead and flip it back over on the side. We've got the power supply temporarily attached. So we've got power, and we've got our 12 volt CPU power. Okay, now let's see if we can figure out how to get the figure out where to put our since we're going to be water cooling this. We've got a radiator to mount somewhere. Which at least temporarily will be this Corsair XR5 280. And I think we will try to mount this on the top. Power supply is already not happy, but we'll get that fixed later. So it looks like we will try to mount this guy up on the top. And then we still have to install the water block on the CPU. Okay. Back after thinking about the power supply issue, and I've looked a little more and tried some things, and it looks like the power supply will fit on the back side of this more appropriately using these two holes. So we'll grab the power supply and position it so the fan is facing outwards. looks like we will mount it on the back side here. Lining up these holes. We've got a couple spacers, so I don't know if we probably should use these spacers. So we'll put those spacers in. Set the case back down on those holes. And I am going to put some washers on these so that we do not damage the paint on this case. I don't know if we are supposed to, but I think it is a good idea. Looks like he's threaded in. So we'll get the other screw. Hopefully our washer is still, our black washer is still aligned. Okay, this feels so much better. So now we have our power supply on the back side. So looking at this instructions on this frame, it looks like if we raised this back panel up to provide enough clearance, the power supply would fit in that gap and attach into these two holes right here. But it looks better if the case is not so tall. So it looks like we'll go this way, and it also keeps the power supply out of the way. The only thing remains is we'll reconnect to the power supply and see. The best way to do this routing. You don't want to go from the top because that's where the radiator is going to sit. We bring the power in. This looks comfortable. And do it in such a way that we're not putting any stress on the wires or the motherboard. So it looks like this gives it plenty of slack. And of course, we got our 12-volt CPU power. We'll connect that guy up here. All right, so this looks like this will kind of take care of our power supply issues, and we will attach these wires to the side. We actually have a clip that came in here, so I guess we could make use of this this tie wrap that came with the kit for now to get these wires out of the way. That nicely holds them out of the way. Okay, after tinkering around a little bit, I think we have the power supply in a good spot and mounted well. And I located some more glass washers. I thought I was going to have to run to the store, but fortunately I found some in a box. And we will use these to finish mounting the power supply. This will ensure that we don't mar the finish on here, although this one looks like it's already slightly marred. It's a tight fit. I'm gonna get a different screw. This one, screw feels funny. Alright, that power supply feels very well secured. Moving on, it's probably getting close to time to figure out how to mount the water block on this CPU.